Welcome to Unqualified Commentary, where three best friends say things about sports that we probably are not qualified to say. I'm one of your hosts, Rachel, and this is Marcus and Jay, and this week we are excited to talk to you about some exciting stuff. Very good. So let's start off with plays of the week this week, guys. Jay, you go first.
Okay. So my play of the week is of course it's hockey. It's and unfortunately it's not the Fleet because they have yet to win a game. So we have the Jersey Devils versus the Rangers. Rangers were on power play. Devils down a man. And they're out there sacrificing their bodies to block shots that the Rangers are just ripping at them. I think I count like 3 of their players get hit by a puck, like hard. And they don't have the extra padding like the goalie. Like, none of these shots made it even close to the goalie. It was incredible. I loved it. I wanted to see the bruises. I could have picked a more eventful play, but I love hockey, and I love watching people get destroyed. So yeah, that's my play of the week. Kind of silly, but I thought it was entertaining. More people should go look it up.
I agree. I'll go next. So mine was also hockey, but mine was the PWHL, and mine this week was for Montreal. Kayla Barnes scored her very first PWHL goal, and she did it against the New York Sirens, but it wasn't just the fact that it was her first goal, because I don't really follow the Montreal, so they're not my team, but the breakaway was incredible. And then she hit an absolute nasty backhand to fake out the goalie and get the goal, and it was so good. I couldn't not shout it out. So that's my play of the week this week.
Rookies in the PWHL this year are kicking ass. Like, just gotta put that in there. They're kicking ass this year. Like, it's great to see.
Yes, they are.
The goalie got deked hard.
She did. Marcus, what's your play of the week?
So mine's very simple and straightforward. It's a football one because I watch too much football, but it was the Denver Broncos, the team I don't support, but still I support the quarterback because I like him as a person. But, so the quarterback, Bo Nix, made a pass to Marvin Mims Jr., absolutely threaded the needle. It was like a 90-yard touchdown. There was like 4 guys in front of the guy that caught it, and he just pass went right between, and then just into his hands, ran it down, and I was like, such a perfect play because it just took one play to get a first down and a touchdown. So it was such a quality play, and I respect both those 2 players personally from that team. I think they're an okay team. They're not the greatest, but those 2 players are pretty good, and I like them. So picked it.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, we're talking about the NFL, so we might as well go into our sports news for the week, and we've had some exciting news this week for sure. To start off, we've had 4 eliminations in the NFL. The New England Patriots, boo, they have sadly been eliminated from playoffs with their 1-point loss to the Colts on Sunday. So that was pretty brutal. And then the Giants were eliminated when they lost to the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, as my play of the week featured last week. And the Las Vegas Raiders were also eliminated, as well as the Jacksonville Jaguars. And so, speaking of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jay, why don't you tell us about the drama?
Okay, so I am not a football person. With most of the sports that I follow, I'll tell you that I know just enough about the rules to enjoy the game. I don't know half the rules for football, but this has been all over TikTok. I've watched this clip, like, probably at least 20 times over trying to figure out my own opinion on it, which I am swaying both ways on this. And I think it's just fascinating just because of the discussion around it. So, Trevor Lawrence was a quarterback. I mean, I shouldn't say was. He's still alive.
He was a quarterback.
We love the CTE.
Anyway, so he was a quarterback. He is a quarterback, and he was running with the ball. And he goes to slide. They're right at that first down line. And Alshire, he coming down to tackle him because he was running with the ball. And it was a nasty hit. Like, you can tell that Lawrence, he's concussed. Like, he went down bad. First Taylor Swift reference I've dropped in a podcast, by the way. Anyways, so he went down bad. And instantly there's a scuffle on the field because you don't with the quarterback. You don't do it. But now there's discussion because a lot of people are calling Alshire a dirty player and calling it a dirty hit. And I don't think the hit itself was dirty, but he has a history of making not so great decisions in the NFL. Like, he has punched a guy before. There's like one clip where he grabbed someone basically by the neck. The thing is, in real life, in real-time speed, it looks like a dirty hit. When you slow it down, though, he is going for the tackle while he is starting to slide. And I don't think he really could have stopped himself at that point. However, when comes hits that are dangerous, there has to be consequences. So right now he's looking at a 3-game suspension. There's talk whether he's actually going to serve the 3, because a lot of times they can negotiate it down to 2. They can appeal. And it's just starting this whole controversy because a lot of defensive players are saying, what do you want us to do? There's so many things with quarterbacks in particular running ball. There's so many restrictions on it. What are we supposed to do at this point? And I think it's really sparked this interesting conversation about quarterbacks running with ball, the protections that they should be afforded. And I'm learning through this hit more about football than I thought I would. And I don't know where I stand on this and where I stand on his consequences he should get for this. Because I don't think he intended it to be a dirty hit. But he does have a history of making bad decisions. And the NFL does have to protect their players. So
I honestly, one take that I saw from this was Tom Brady. Everybody knows who Tom Brady is, but he's doing commentary now, and he went on I don't know if it was a podcast or an interview, but he said that an alternative solution for the league is to not only penalize the defensive player, but also penalize quarterbacks for sliding too late. Because as you can see, Trevor Lawrence goes into the sliding motion once the other player was already kind of starting to tackle him. If Trevor Lawrence had slid earlier to avoid that contact like he was planning on, the hit would have never happened. And so Tom Brady's solution, and he was a previous quarterback, so I think that he has a pretty good perspective on this, was that maybe that we should be penalizing both, having late slides and also dirty hits, or hits to the head more like. But
let's see. There's a couple things that I'm seeing. It looks like the suspension was upheld. So he's going to be serving that. Trevor Lawrence is getting surgery on his left shoulder because it looks like he tore an AC joint in his shoulder. So he got injured on that hit regardless. So, but then also my honest opinion with it, I do agree that it was probably a little bit of a late hit. I wouldn't say it was it wasn't like late, but it was like a second too late. Obviously there's out of your control if you're already going into that tackle and he just slid just then, but like that's out of his control. But at the end of the day, like it probably was a second too late, and then it did cause a lot of drama on the field. So I mean, regardless, the suspension I feel like is a little deserved, but at the same time 3 games, it could be worse, could be better, but I mean,
I think the league was so hard on him due to his past
probably.
Yeah. In the statement that they released, they mentioned like due to your continued conduct. So it did have more to do with everything. I was surprised he only got 3 games. I was kind of expecting more. Granted, I don't know much about football. I don't know what regular penalties there are, but I was surprised it was 3. I thought it was going to be significantly more.
There was also some discussion, and I don't know if this is true, but criminal charges because of the injury equity program. In theory, Trevor Lawrence can sue him for basically the loss of money that he'll lose from the injury.
Yeah, he's probably making already millions and millions of dollars.
Jacksonville Jaguars paid him a lot of money, and they don't have a lot to show for it. No. So I think that's an interesting issue as well for their team. But also, speaking of injuries, we saw that Christian McCaffrey is out for the season from San Francisco. He tore his PCL, which is a not good injury. So unfortunately, he is a really good running back that will be out for the rest of the season. And I think that could definitely affect the rest of the season and their postseason, which is unfortunate for the 49ers for sure.
They were already having a rough season to begin with, so I don't know how much more damage they could have taken. But I mean, that's, again, he was a cover athlete for Madden, so you know he's a good player at some point. So there you go.
Have you guys heard about Tom Brady and the criticism that he's under for his current commentary? Have you heard what he said about Josh Allen?
I'm always critical of Tom Brady.
Okay, so Tom Brady, he is currently under fire from social media and some news outlets because of his language that he's been doing. Some say that it leans towards ableism, as he said, quote, "Sometimes he plays like a spaz. like a grade schooler on sugar high, but now he's controlled the chaos. And that was about Josh Allen specifically. And so, I don't know, I kind of wanted to hear your thoughts on is that too far on commentary? Because I think the ableism was considered on the spaz comment because that can, yeah.
Yeah.
Spaz has been a word that, like, when I was a child, that it was used so frequently that we're only starting to see the fact that it can be harmful and hurtful now. So I think the right move for him to do now is just be like, I didn't realize the impact that word had. My apologies, and move forward. Because I don't think he used it in a truly malicious way in order to hurt the community. I think it's something that there's like, you learn and you move forward and you do better. I don't think it's that deep.
Wait, what was the other one? A grade schooler on a sugar high? Wait. I think that's funny.
He said that Josh Allen, he thought that he played like a grade schooler on a sugar high, but he has now learned to control the chaos.
I feel like, I mean, granted it's a little accurate, but I mean it's kind of funny.
I take no issue with the grade schooler on the sugar high. That's going to be used in my own vocabulary now.
Oh. I love that one. That one's good.
Right? I liked it too. I thought that was funny. Tom Brady, he has his faults, but that's his commentary certainly is less unqualified than ours. In other news, let's talk about some other sports. Enough about football. I only have one update about the NBA this week, so unless you guys have something to add, Jared McCain won the Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month, which I'm stoked about. So he's the Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month. I looked up what the Western Conference Rookie of the Month was, and I promptly forgot it because I didn't write it down. So that's on me.
Might be that Pelicans player. I don't remember who it was.
I don't know.
It was Jalen Wells. He's the Is he a Grizzlies player? I think I even heard of this kid. Where'd you get drafted? 40th?
In the NHL, we are obviously a little biased towards the Boston Bruins, and we were very excited to see the Centennial game. Jay, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
I was told the game was starting at 3. I turned my TV on at 3. I only turn my TV on to watch sports. Everything else I watch on my laptop or on TikTok. I was told 3 o'clock. I turned the TV on. Okay, Centennial game. There's going to be some shenanigans before the game. It was like an hour and 20 minutes before they actually had the puck drop. I was just like, they would have, okay. It was cool. They had a lot of alumni. They unveiled a new statue. It was cool. They had a whole closing the vault thing where they had a lot of alumni circling on center ice, tapping their sticks. It was cool. It was a great game. I am just a little salty that I was told the game started at 3. They also, the fans in the stands, had little wrist bracelets that lit up like a Taylor Swift concert. I love it. The game, we kicked Montreal's ass. And one thing I didn't realize until talking about the Centennial game and leading up to it is that they were actually called the Montreal Maroons back in the day. And I kind of like that better. Can we bring that back?
Instead of Canadians.
Instead of Canadians, Montreal Maroons, I think it sounds better. I like it better. Bruins did an amazing job. What was it, like 6-3? 6-2?
Going to Google.
I think it was 6 to something.
It was 6-3, I think.
6-3. It was a great game. I was kind of hoping that the original score, they would match it from 100 years ago, and the 2-1, that quickly was blown out of the water.
Yeah, 6-3.
Yeah, there was 2 players that scored 2 goals, and I had my fingers crossed for a hat trick because it's been a while since I've seen a good hat trick. No luck on that. But it was a really fun game to watch. It was really special. I love the jerseys that they had for that game. That was throwback to, I believe, jerseys I had in the 80s. Not the original ones, but it was really cool. It was a really fun game. I love the logo that they did for the Centennial game, which had like the opening arch of the, I don't know what you would call it. It wasn't an arena back then, but where they played the original first game. Whatever you want to call it. It was really cool. It was a really fun game to watch. I'm glad it wasn't like behind a ESPN Plus paywall. But it was a really fun game. It was really great.
In other NHL news, did you guys see that the Chicago Blackhawks fired their head coach this week?
I absolutely saw that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of firing of coaches lately. And they also In more happier, exciting news, announced the finalized rosters of the Four Nations face-off teams. So that was really excited. I think we have four or five Bruins
Yeah.
on the team, which is really exciting as Bruins fans, obviously. But one team, the Florida Panthers, has 8 players gonna be in the face-off.
Well, they're the Stanley Cup team, so it makes sense. They've got a lot of great players.
But there's a lot of really exciting players going into that face-off, and it'll be really cool as a replacement for the All-Star weekend.
I think this is going to be so much better. I'm really looking forward to watching this.
Still liked the All-Star weekend.
And then, so really exciting, I absolutely love Alona Marr, as many of us have fallen in love with her since the Olympics. She has joined the professional or premiership women's rugby league on the union team, the Bristol Bears in England. This is a 15s team. Now, in the Olympics, she played on the 7s team, so there was a lot of conversation. Why would she switch suddenly? Well, but the reason that she switched, at least the theory that I'm going with, is that to participate in the 2025 Women's Rugby World Cup, it's a 15s tournament, so she's trying to get her 15s experiment now so that she can be a part of that. And I think that's really exciting. And then some drama for fans like me who are Caitlin Clark fans. So there's been a lot of controversy around the fact that Paige Bueckers becomes the first college player to have a Nike signature shoe. But what other female athlete who's really popular is also signed with Nike? Yeah, you guessed it, Caitlin Clark. She hasn't received a signature shoe yet, and Nike has not really done anything with their partnership except for a couple of banners. So what are you guys' thoughts on the fact that Paige Bueckers, a very good college player, got a shoe before Caitlin Clark did?
Okay.
Oh boy.
The thing is, not to take anything away from her, because she's an amazing player. She deserves this. Paige Bueckers, she deserves this.
Paige Buckets.
So we need to make sure that we're not taking away from her when we're talking about Caitlin Clark and her not getting it. But I think to put in perspective how big of a cultural phenomenon Caitlin Clark is right now, my dad does not follow sports. My dad could not name a single player in the NHL, NFL, basketball, you name it, could not name a single player. He knows who Caitlin Clark is. She is a household name for people who watch sports and people who don't. Like, I think Nike's just shooting themselves in the foot with that. They're really missing an opportunity here. And I think that's my opinion on it, is they're missing out. Everyone knows who she is. We've got so many bandwagon fans who will buy it.
Rachel.
Okay, but I've been following her for more than a few years. I wasn't just like somebody who jumped on it in like 1 year and was like, yeah, I'm really into it. Like, I've been watching her since her sophomore year of college. So I think that my bandwagon, though is still bandwagon, is, it is what it is.
Very much a bandwagon.
Listen, here's my thing. I was in the grocery store wearing a Caitlin Clark shirt, and I got shouted out twice by people being like, oh my god, nice shirt, like, nice jersey. Like, people know who she is. She's an exciting player. She does those logo threes, and that's what everybody loves. But I think that Paige Bueckers deserved it. I just don't understand. Like Jay said, I think that Nike is shooting themselves in the foot. They have her contract for a really long period of time, but she just became Rookie of the Year in the WNBA. There's a lot of exciting stuff happening in the like the expansion draft, which I'm so excited about. And we'll talk about in just a second. But I don't know, Marcus, what are your thoughts?
Hot take, obviously, because Rachel is clearly in a spot where it's like, I don't know about you, but she's clearly feeling 22. Haha, Taylor Swift joke. Also reference to Caitlin Clark because of the number. But no, at the end of the day, I kind of see it. It is what it is. Obviously, you're still putting a big name on your shoe. So, I mean, Nike's still putting branding out there. Obviously, they have Caitlin Clark. It's probably going to happen eventually. Like, I don't doubt it. But, again, like, yeah, I guess there's the whole shooting themselves in the foot part by going with one person over the other. The one person that's more famous versus the person that's not as famous but still pretty famous. But obviously, at the end of the day, I think it's not a bad idea because you're kind of putting it in a better position because she's a college student. So you're kind of reaching a separate market. Because with somebody who's WNBA, you're reaching towards a lot of WNBA fans or bandwagon fans, depends on who you are. But obviously it's like you're looking at a whole college market. You're still looking at someone that's still not even technically professional. So you're pushing someone to be that's not as known as much but also still has a good reputation, but you're pushing them more than what they are at the moment.
If Nike wants to follow her through her career, then this would be a really cool place to start. And again, Nike is a multi-million, if not probably billion-dollar corporation. It's not like they're really missing out much by doing this. I'm sure their financials look fine. It's just what we want as fans is we all want to see the players that we love and support get those deals and get those really cool items dedicated to them. And I think she will get it eventually. It's just the timing feels a little odd, but I think Nike might be trying to follow Becker through her career, which will be really cool to see.
Paige Beckers is a phenomenal player, and she definitely deserved it. Her shoe was sick as hell. Like, I was a big fan of it. It's like a purple and blue. It's really cool. If I was back in the day still playing basketball, I would have definitely wanted to wear it. It's really awesome. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I'll be excited to see how things going into the next year look for Nike and Caitlin Clark. But moving forward, let's talk about the expansion draft, because let me tell you, my jaw hit the floor tonight while I was watching it. So I think we'll start with the one that like everybody was surprised by, which is Timmy Fag-Bentley. So a lot of theories went around in the Indiana Fever because they posted a photo on their Instagram that they have since deleted with 6 players, and Timmy Fag-Bentley was one of them. Well, as we know, in the expansion draft, each team could protect 6 players. And clearly, they did not protect Timmy Fag-Bentley like we had expected. And so she is now going to be a Golden State Valkyrie, which I'm very excited for her. But a lot of people were really shocked because she has great chemistry with not only her teammates, she's a great leader, she's older, which I feel like the Indiana Fever kind of needs at this point because they don't have a lot of like veteran leadership on the team. So I'm like really curious as to who they protected over her. My theory is probably Katie Lou Samuelson and the 5 starters towards the end of the season, but I was just really shocked. So, and then my other favorite that I'm really excited for, and I think this was a really good pick, both in player and marketability, is Kate Martin. She sells jerseys. Hardcore. She's played for the coach previously as the new head coach of the Valkyries is the previous assistant coach of the Aces, which is where Kate Martin played. So it made a lot of sense that they picked that. So coming out of her rookie season, I think Kate Martin will get more minutes with the Valkyries, and I think that's a really good thing for her, and I'm excited to see more of her. Yeah. And the other picks weren't super surprising, I would say.
I'm just excited to be watching more women's basketball when their season actually starts and not just catch the final game of the season this time. I'm really excited to be watching more and to support the teams and to support the players. That's what I'm excited for. Also, I love the Valkyries logo and jerseys.
Right. Oh, speaking of expansion teams and names, and we're about to rank some names here, so I think that this is important that we throw this in here. Toronto announced their name today, and it is the worst name.
Oh, jeez.
They're the Toronto Tempos. What the heck is a tempo? It's such, and then they directly ripped off the logo from the Pacers. Like, direct rip off. It's so bad. 10 out of 10, not a fan. And yeah, not impressed. And they're gonna come into the team in 2026 along with the Portland team. But yeah.
I have mixed feelings. I feel like they could do a lot with the tempo. That would just have to be done very, very well because there's 10 million ways that it can go wrong and just be lame. I think there's potential. They need to be very careful to do it right or it's just going to look lame. Also, with women's sports in general, I really want some updated logos. Even some of the teams that just came out, I have a whole mini rant on some stuff that I don't know if today's the day for it, but I have a mini rant on some things with the women's logos because I feel like sometimes not as much effort gets put into their logos. That goes into my whole mini rant that's coming up sometime soon. But especially with they said their logo looks like let me look up their logo. I want to see.
It looks like a direct ripoff of the Pacers, except for the P comes down as a line and the Toronto is just like in the middle of the T is just like in the middle, but it's pretty much the same.
I looked up Toronto tempo and it's showing me the temperature in Toronto. That's not what I want.
Secondary logo I like a lot better.
Yeah, it is that one's not bad.
They're going with that dirty maroon color too? Oh, honey, no.
Apparently it was a fan chosen name technically.
The name isn't necessarily what I have an issue with. It's the logo. I have issues with the color. If you're going to choose tempo and you're going to do your whole thing around sound, choose an electric, vibrant color. So you can be like, make me feel like I'm in a club feeling that beat if you're going to choose the name the tempo.
Yeah, there needs to be neon yellow somewhere in that logo.
There needs to be neon colors. They need to make sure that they play up. They need to have bomb-ass music at all their games.
Like red and yellow, be like Lightning McQueen.
They need to play into that and play into it well. There's a lot of like good cheers, good slogos slogans that I think can come out of that name. And I always am a sucker for the alliteration in names, the Toronto Tempo, the Boston Bruins. I'm always a big fan of that. So it's not the name I have an issue with. I have an issue with the logo, the color, and the fact that they're probably going to fumble it.
I mean, the one theory I see, I actually like this theory because they say the word tempo means like pace. So it's kind of like stepping into the streets, feeling the pace of the city, and kind of like moving at a championship rate for a team. I like that.
Ooh, I do like that, but I'm not a fan of the name.
Oh, the name's not the greatest. I like the secondary logo. That's about it.
I'm sorry, I can't go over the fact that they chose that dirty maroon color.
I was about to say the problem with maroon is like it has to go with like the correct secondary color for using as the primary color. And maroon's not the greatest, but I mean maroon and like the standards like that maroon and like that like blue, like a light sky blue or like a baby blue, like that's a good combo. Like I like the Montreal's version of maroon with the PWHL team. Like there's some good color combinations with it. It's just that color combination and that kind of team. I'm not the biggest fan.
Yeah. And my final piece of news comes out of Seattle. So there's been a lot of drama with the Seattle Storm. We were kind of talking about it a little bit before the podcast started, but basically there was a investigation into the Seattle Storm and to see whether or not there was misconduct in bullying. Anyways, they found the Seattle Storm organization not guilty for any of it and essentially said that nothing is happening and there is nothing. There was a lot of talk about whether Skylar Diggins-Smith was a part of the bullying or what, but as of, I think, yesterday, Jewel Lloyd had asked for a trade from the Seattle Storm, and she is an absolute star on their team. So if she does get approved for that trade, which once the player starts asking for a trade, you don't really want to keep them on your organization. That's not good for morale. It'll be tough for the Seattle Storm. I think that they'll really struggle without her. And Arike, is their other star, is a free agent this season. So there's very good potential that she leaves the Seattle Storm as well. So I think that the Storm is going to either have a really big rebuilding year or something's got to change quick.
Okay, they got found not guilty, but there has to be things wrong for it to go to an investigation in the first place. Clearly it was not the severity needed for them to be found guilty and liable for what's going on. But clearly they're fostering an environment where their players don't feel comfortable. And you can't play well on a team that you're not comfortable in. So that's really going to hurt them unless they change things around. Fire another coach! It's the year of firing coaches.
8 teams in the W lost coaches. It was kind of crazy. It was Indiana Fever, Chicago Sky, like the 4 bottom teams, except for the Wings, I think. Don't quote me on that, but a bunch of them lost their coaches. So now that we, I think, have covered all of the sports news this week, we're gonna rating NHL
logos and names. Simply because I had the idea last week and I really want to roast some teams because I am mean.
So Marcus, go ahead and pull up our tier ranking.
Got it.
All right. So
we're starting from the beginning. We're going from the top to the bottom.
Okay.
First one's the Ducks.
I love the Ducks logo.
I love their logo. I love their logo. I don't love their name, but I do because like the Mighty Ducks.
I was about to say they're iconic.
So I think that they probably do. They go in God tier or pretty solid.
Here's the thing. I love their it's like teal, yellow, or teal, white, and orange jerseys. I believe the colors. Oh, I love them. Those are like the throwback 80s jerseys. Oh.
And for listeners, we have 6 categories. God tier, pretty solid, kind of mid. I wouldn't want to wear that jersey. 50 Shades of Lame, and wish they didn't exist.
Oh yeah.
For the Ducks, God tier or pretty solid?
I think pretty solid.
I was about to say, it's such a borderline one.
We'll do pretty solid, and then we'll come back to them if we like decide to put one in.
Yeah, and here's the thing too: is we can organize this like the one in the front's like the highest rating and pretty solid, like the
Yeah.
furthest one back's like the lowest rating, so it could be like the borderline ones.
I think the Ducks are the best example of taking a name that is mid at best and cute and cuddly at worst for a sports team and turning it around with a logo to make it feel threatening and intimidating and cool. And I think that's why it's that high for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I love the mask sort of situation they got going on the front, and it just all around the logo is just phenomenal.
Bruins.
So for me, the logo in the name, I love the Bruins. I like that it's the Boston Bruins. But I don't think that their logo is that cool. I think it's
I don't like this logo.
It's classic, but it's letter art.
I love their other logo, the one with the bear.
Yes.
That's different. That's not the one we have here, is the sad part.
and that's not their normal logo either anymore. So I think they go in the kind of mid category.
Kind of mid, because we're kind of slightly biased, too.
I feel like if they weren't an original six classic team, it'd be lower than that. But they are original six classic team. I love the name, but it's just fancy letter art at the end of the day.
Yeah.
This is true. The next one is the Buffalo Sabres.
I like the name. I don't think that it should go to the. I don't think it should go to Buffalo. Because if it had been like a team with an S name in front of it, it would have been way sicker. Because we love those
Alliterations.
alliterations. Thank you. I don't know. I think they're. I wouldn't want to wear it.
I think with the logo, they almost had something there, but it just feels like it's missing something.
Yeah. It's like there, but it isn't.
I feel like a high schooler could do that in Canva.
Yeah, so?
Honest opinion. Like, I think that a high schooler could make that.
I could make this argument for a lot of these. I could slap a maple leaf onto Canva and write Toronto Maple Leafs across it and call it a day.
I would say for the Buffalo Sabres, either kind of mid or I wouldn't want to wear that jersey.
I think this is like, for me, it's like the low end a kind of mid to the high end I wouldn't want to wear it.
High end if I wouldn't want to wear it.
Yeah, high end if I wouldn't want to wear that.
I think it's like borderline kind of mid, but...
Yeah.
Okay, Calgary Flames.
Again, just fancy letter art.
I also have with it because it looks too similar to the so since the addition of the PWHL and the PWHL logos and the Ottawa Charge and them both looking too similar in my opinion, it has like made my dislike for the fancy letter art and all things more intense. I hate it.
I think 50 Shades of Lame, personally.
I think 50 Shades lame.
I'm kind of... I like these teams. But I also think, again, probably 50 Shades of Lame, but I'm still, like, on higher end of that one, too.
Okay.
Is this the Hurricane?
Yes, it's the Hurricanes. I like the logo. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's at least... It's not a fancy letter.
It captures their team name well. It's the North Carolina Hurricanes, right?
Not just the Carolina Hurricanes, but yeah.
I like it. I think probably kind of mid. I don't think it's as nearly as good as the Ducks.
No.
It looks like a Beyblades logo.
It does.
This is true, but this is how you advertise to the younger generation. Make it look like a Beyblade.
We're not even the youngest generation anymore.
We'll make Beyblades.
Yeah, for us.
No, they still make the child safe ones, the one that don't explode in your face.
I think probably kind of mid for me. What do you guys think?
I'm kind of in the kind of mid too.
This is called, the Hurricanes are called Let's Turn the Trauma of Our State into Our NHL Team.
Some people might wish they didn't exist.
Kind of mid, or I wish that jersey. I think kind of mid.
I think kind of mid.
Low end, a kind of mid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Blackhawks.
They go in the wish they didn't exist category.
Not a fan of the people's faces as logos.
Yeah, same.
It feels like you're turning a human being into a mascot.
But no, this is a whole I wish they didn't exist, because if it wasn't like if they were still called the Blackhawks but didn't have this logo, different story. Blackhawks, I
Yeah,
think, is a sick name.
And I think they can honor in the indigenous community in a better way.
Oh yeah,
agreed.
100%.
All
Okay,
right.
Avalanche.
Avalanche?
Yes.
I love the Avalanche's logo and I like their colors. I think like Marcus said, the maroon with the light blue, it does good things. So for me, it's either pretty solid or god tier.
I think for me it's pretty solid. It's my secondary team.
Yeah.
It's going up here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely going up there. I
It's
think
not gonna hit mid. It's gonna hit here.
Yeah.
I don't think it's God tier though because I think it's the best version of letter art we have.
I I, I do like it because it's a mountain that represents Colorado pretty well.
It does.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's above the Ducks for me.
Okay. I'm okay with it.
I'd agree. Granted, I'd agree with that. Obviously, the Ducks is like the nostalgia thing, but the Avalanche logo is just a good, like we said, a very good representation of letters.
It's solid.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the Blue Jackets? Oh, I think it is. Okay, I think the next one's the Blue Jackets. Yes. Do I know
I
that?
think that they have a cool logo.
Well, let's go with this. Do you know what a Blue Jacket is, Rachel?
Yeah, it's a military thing, right?
Yes, from way back when.
Which is why it has like the whole patriotism vibe.
Ah, I see.
Because America.
Um, honestly, I think kind of mid.
I wouldn't want to wear it.
Okay, yeah, no.
So I would say below Buffalo too.
Also have another team that has a major star logo.
Which is next?
Yes, the Dallas Stars.
The Dallas Stars. So I feel like you're really going to have two teams with big star logos, and one of them looks like it's made by, what is her name? Betsy Ross?
Yikes.
I think the Dallas Stars are better than the Sabres, but definitely worse than the Hurricanes. So it either goes in I wouldn't want to wear that jersey or kind of mid for me, but below the Hurricanes.
I like green. For that, it's going to be in the kind of mid category for me. They've also been, if I'm not mistaken, they've been playing pretty well this year too.
They normally play pretty consistently good. I wouldn't say they're the greatest team, but I mean,
What is Texas's obsession with stars? Is it just the patriotism element because of it? Because we've got like the Cowboys that have like the star logo, and
well, it is the Lone Star State.
duh, I'm just an idiot.
It's like there's a giant star on their flag.
You know, I might recall that now.
All right. I think they go in the kind of mid category.
Kind of behind the Hurricanes, kind of mid.
The Detroit Red Wings.
This reminds me of Hermes, like from Greek mythology, really gives that kind of vibe.
Yeah, but they also I like it because they use the tire to signify Detroit, which is Motor City. So I mean that's got something.
This might be God tier for me. I think it's creative. I think it captures the city well. I think it makes a pretty unique standout logo for it. I think it's God tier for me.
I would see. I'm hesitant about God tier only because it only has two colors. Like if it had more colors, I would like it way more. But it's definitely up there for sure. Thinking about the other teams, though, I think it might be the best logo. So I think it does have to go in God tier.
I was about to say I'm like high, pretty solid to low God tier for this one.
I think God tier. I think this goes in God tier.
We'll stick it there for now and figure something out. Okay, the Edmonton Oilers.
I hate their logo. I hate it so much. It's so ugly in my opinion. Um
It looks like one of your local hometown mom and pop store run oil businesses. It looks like their logo. I can just see it on one of those big tin signs.
Ah, but I love those signs.
I think it goes in 50 Shades of Lame.
That's a you opinion.
I don't know if I would go that far.
I'm not going that far.
Really?
I'm
I
going like
dislike
low,
it.
kind of mid.
I dislike it, but I like the colors.
I'm
I
like,
don't think it does. I don't think it belongs in the same category as the Hurricanes. Then the
I'm,
Hurricanes.
the Hurricanes deserve to be
Yeah.
mid.
I think for me, it's about even with the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, I can accept that.
I don't know which side of the Blue Jackets to put it on myself.
Well, I said it was 50 Shades of Lame. You said it was kind of mid, so we'll put it right in the middle of I wouldn't want to wear that jersey.
Sure. We'll go with it. This is scuffed anyway. Florida Panthers.
Can we put it in I don't want them to exist just because the beef I have with them because of the Bruins?
Oh, the Florida Panthers.
That feels a little biased.
I would agree with that. I think that their logo is cool. I think it's basic. Yeah, I think that it would probably go in the kind of mid category for me.
I think it's simple, but it's effective.
It's simple, it's effective. Um, it's a great use of an animal logo, which is basic, but it works.
I do like the fact they made the panther look like very stoic. So it's just like, I'm coming for you.
They didn't do the generic pouncing panther.
No.
Yeah, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Okay, Los Angeles Kings.
I wouldn't want to wear that or 50. It's got to go below. I wouldn't want to wear that jersey or 50 Shades of Lame because that's. I kind of wish they didn't exist too. Like it's really bad. I think I wish they didn't exist.
Here's my opinion: is the fact of Kings is already a used name. Do I know which one was used first? No, but I like the colors of the Sacramento Kings in the basketball terms better because I love the purple and like gray/black. The black and gray is dull.
There's nothing happening. They could have used a crown. They could have done something, but they just literally wrote the word Kings.
It is the most forgettable logo in the entire NHL.
Yeah, I think it would go in wish they didn't exist.
I'm putting it above Blackhawks though.
Yeah, everything goes but Blackhawks.
Okay, this is one of my favorite ones. The Minnesota Wild.
I think they go in God tier because I personally think it's as good or better than Detroit Wings.
Yeah.
They're doing really well. They're in like ranked second currently, right? Or they were first for a long time.
Last I checked, they were first, but it's been a while since I checked. Also, they get points for being one of the arenas that share with the PWHL.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
The Wild are currently first.
Yes. Okay, first. I love the colors. I think the red and the green look sick as heck. I think the way that they did the logo, they've got the streams, they've got the trees, they got the sunset vibe going on. Like they really crushed not only the meaning of their logo, but also like the actual like animation of it.
I was about to say, I'm also pretty sure the eye is the Northern Star.
They packed so much in without it feeling overcrowded, and they also managed to use red and green without making it feel like Christmas and tacky.
Yeah, that's honestly, even more bonus points for using red and green and not making it look like Christmas.
It's definitely the shades of red and green too, but it's just like it looks so much better.
They did a great job with it. Like, points to whatever graphic designers behind that.
Yeah, Kings, you should definitely take note.
Okay, next Montreal Canadiens.
So bad. I think 50 Shades of Lame. Like, it's better than the Kings.
I stuck it there immediately.
What do you think, Jay?
It looks too similar to, like, the champion logo for, like, hoodies and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, it also looks like a high school logo.
Yeah. It's lame. It's bad. They should be the Montreal Maroons. Bad.
Yeah, it's not great. Nashville Predators are next.
Let me get a bigger look at this.
It's not a great logo that they used to begin with. It's like half cut off, but still. It's basically just a giant saber-toothed cat.
It looks too cartoony.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's kind of
mid.
Kind of mid.
Kind of mid. It's high
I
schoolish.
I like it better than the Bruins though.
I do too. I think
Bruins fumbled. Florida still did good, so I think I can put them ahead of the Predators at least. Okay, New Jersey Devils.
I personally like this logo. I think it's low end of pretty solid or high end of kind of mid. I think it's cool. It's basic, but it's cool.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on the low end for very mid for me. It's very basic. It's
I think it's yeah. I think it's better than the Bruins though.
A lot of things are better than the Bruins logo. Let's be real here.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'll put
Yeah.
it there. I think the Predators do outbeat it a little bit, so I'm not like deeply upset with
Yeah.
the spot right now.
yeah.
Okay, here's the most controversial one: the New York Islanders.
Hate this team's logo. I hate this team's name. Altogether, I would not want to. I wish they didn't exist. Like, come on.
Let's start a hockey team and call it the North American continent because we live on a continent.
It's like if the New England Patriots had named themselves the New Englanders. Like,
You know, kind of like how the Canadians are so low because they're just the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, we know you live in Canada. Get over yourself.
like genuinely, I think that they go on. Wish they didn't exist, but above the Kings because at least they put a little work into the logo.
I have clearly put no input into this because I just basically said the name and all of you went on a tirade about it. So, okay, I have
What do you think?
I have a hot take. I think it's the better of the two New York logos and the better of the two New York names. Only because one, I do like the color scheme still matches the New York sports, which is the orange and blue. A lot of New York teams already do that. And also, apart from the Rangers is already a team name used in another sport. Granted, the New York Rangers in hockey, I believe, did do their name first, but is still used across more than just one sport. So I do think it is better than the other New York team. I would not put it at the bottom entirely. So,
The other New York team is at the bottom for me too.
oh yeah, 100%.
All right, we can compromise and put it in 50 Shades of Lame.
Low end of 50 Shades of Lame, but well, actually,
Yeah.
I still think they're better than the Canadians. Let's be real here.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that.
I think
Canadians deserve to be at the bottom, apart from Black.
The New York Rangers, I think they go just above the Kings. In wish they didn't exist because that logo just sucks.
Square.
it's yeah, it's not good.
I could have done this in Canva.
Yeah, honestly.
And coming from Marcus, that's saying a lot.
That's not artistic. I know this. Okay, let's just move on from that. Ottawa Senators.
Um,
It's another person for me, which I'm not a big fan.
They they still did it better than most other teams do, though. So
True.
I think that they go in the kind of mid category.
They're very forgettable for me.
Yeah, like they're not bad, but they're not good. Above the Bruins?
I'm
I think
the
they're
Bruins
below
here.
the Bruins just because the Bruins are more rememberable.
The Bruins are more rememberable, but I still think the logo looks better. It's above the Hurricanes at least.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Flyers are next.
Okay, I feel like they have a lot of people use this kind of logo. Like the as we were just talking about, the Toronto Tempo now has used a similar logo with like the almost looking like there's like a trail behind them. Also, the Pacers use a similar logo. So it's kind of not very creative in my opinion.
I also don't understand the term Flyers to begin with, apart from a piece of paper. So
Yeah, but I think it's better than the Islanders for sure. I don't
I
know if
feel
it's
like putting it even with the Calgary Flames. They have the same vibe.
in 50 Shades of Lame.
it could go either way with those two. I'll just put them there. I like this one, but it's the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I love the Penguins. I think that it's an adorable nickname. Do I think that their logo looks like a jacked penguin, which is not it, but I think it's funny. So for me, it either goes high end of kind of mid or maybe lowest end of pretty solid because they've done the best they can with the logo that they have.
They have a very non-intimidating name. I think they definitely go behind the Ducks no matter what. Because the Ducks took another like non-intimidating bird name and the logo made it seem fierce. Where Penguin looks like a toddler team.
I agree, but like the buff penguin, that was like the first NHL logo that I recognized, but after the Bruins, like obviously I always knew who the Bruins were growing up, but I think the Penguins were the first logo that I could like point out of a lineup.
But I think it's a funny one because it's like no one expected the Spanish Inquisition it's like the Penguins because they just came and won a couple championships like nothing. So I don't know.
The Penguins are the Spanish Inquisition.
It's the most inconspicuous name.
Can someone edit the Penguins logo so it's Pesto the Penguin?
The Penguins missed such a good marketable opportunity.
Pesto. I love pesto. Okay, San Jose Sharks. I like the logo personally.
Yes, I don't feel like it captures the team name as well as it could. But I don't dislike it. So
So what you're saying is a picture of a shark doesn't encapture the name Sharks.
is it actually a picture of the shark?
It is.
Oh, wait. Okay, I was misseeing it. To me, it looked like
What it'll look like, a hockey stick?
it looked like a tooth like biting into something.
No, the shark's just coming through the picture. It's like 3D.
Okay, that is pretty sick. I think it goes above the Penguins but below the Ducks.
See, I would put it behind the Penguins.
What do you think, Marcus?
I was about to. I'm more with Rachel on this one.
Okay.
I do like the Sharks logo a lot better because it's more intimidating than the Penguin. And I think it's just because I also grew up with the Worcester Sharks always facing the Portland Pirates, so I'm just so used to that logo. But it's so iconic to me. I'm just like slightly biased, but I'm like I like the logo. Seattle Kraken. God tier.
It's fancy letter art.
It's fancy letter art.
God tier.
It's not God tier. You cannot put a letter into word art and call it a logo. I am sorry.
We did that with the Avalanche.
Yes, but the Avalanches is sick.
I like the Krakens.
The Avalanche, they made it a mountain. There's more symbolism there.
Okay,
It's a tentacle ass looking. It's not even a good tentacle ass looking.
okay. I think that the Krakens have the coolest name in the NHL by far, which puts them up a lot higher. I would say they are pretty solid, but I don't think that they beat the Ducks or the Sharks.
Penguins.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much anything in our pretty solid list beats a buff Penguin.
Penguins is like lowest of low ends on pretty solid.
Yeah.
If we're being real here, where it's like hanging on by a thread. It's like that picture of a cat just saying hanging in there. It's that team right there.
Okay.
The Blues? St. Louis? I don't know the city. I think it's St. Louis.
Kind of mid. Maybe even I wouldn't want to wear that jersey.
It's more creative.
It's more creative. I really like it. I would put it in the solid category.
I was about to say, I think it's above a lot of these teams.
I think it's definitely above Bruins.
Ooh, the Devils is a tough one.
Yeah, see, I don't think it's better than the Jersey Devils.
I don't think it's better than the Devils, is my opinion.
So yeah, it goes between Bruins and Devils in the kind of mid category. Sorry, Jay.
This list has been scuffed from the beginning.
Yeah, I just like looking at the ones in the pretty solid category. They're just so cool.
Not the Kraken's logo.
Listen, I agree that the logo isn't the best, but we're also rating names, and the Krakens are sick.
The name's doing it.
The Tampa Bay Lightning.
Lame.
It's pretty basic. It's also blacked out on the picture. Hold on.
It looks like a knockoff superhero.
So like, it looks like the Flash symbol.
Knockoff superhero, very lame. 50 Shades of Lame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it above the Canadians, but I think it's below the Islanders.
I don't know about that, but I'll allow it.
It's basic. The logo is literally Canva. I could do that on my iPhone with just a note. I could have a monkey draw this and it'd be fine.
You give 1,000 monkeys 1,000 Canva accounts, and within 10 minutes you have the logo for the Lightning.
Okay, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Um,
I
I like the name. I won't. I'll give
I,
them that.
I think it's dumb. I mean, what is less intimidating than a leaf?
A maple leaf, a sweet tree leaf at that. What are we gonna do? Shake and fall off the branches? Oh no, fall started, hockey season started. Let's all fall to our deaths.
Yeah, but guess what happens when you run into the tree?
but but I think that they did an okay job with like the logo itself. Um,
Low end of I wouldn't wear it.
yeah, I think the low end of it's definitely not in the bottom two. It's somewhere
Uh,
in the middle.
I'd
I
say
think
above
it's
the Blue Jackets.
I think above the Oilers too. I really don't like the Oilers. Yeah.
Reference.
All Utah Hockey Club.
I feel like we have to go kind of easy on them because it is their first season, so they don't really even have.
They have nothing.
But I think probably 50 Shades of Lame, or I don't want to wear that.
They don't have a logo right now. What is to judge?
Yeah, I would just put them at 50 Shades of Lame.
Hold on. No, I got a great idea. Hold on.
Oh, we're gonna add a category. My brother really wants them to be called the Utah Polygamists. Oh,
Hold on. Actually, does not exist. Actually, does not exist.
In the final category, okay.
The Vancouver Canucks.
I think that the Canucks have a kind of cool logo.
Jay's just
But
gonna
it
say it's fancy
also
letter art because it is.
it is. But I don't think that it's worse than the Sabres.
No, I'd argue
I
it's one of
thought
the better ones.
before I got into hockey, I thought that the Canucks was an insult because I am part French Canadian, and whenever my father wanted to insult the French Canadian side of our family, he would call them Canucks. So I thought it was like a derogatory term for Canadians for the longest time.
Canucks derogatory.
Immediately gets canceled by speaking to Canucks on this podcast.
We promise we mean no offense. I think probably around kind of mid, or maybe above the Florida Panthers, high end of kind of mid.
I think
Ah,
it's word art, but it's not obvious blatant word art.
No, it's a lot better.
between Florida Panthers and
Nashville
Predators.
Yeah.
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 The Vegas Golden Knights.
I think that they did a pretty decent job with what they were given. And I like that there's a V like hidden in the helmet for Vegas.
I just noticed that, I'll be honest.
Um I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's kind of solid.
It's
Yeah, I think it's a
one of the
pretty
better ones.
yeah, I don't think it's better than the Sharks, but
I think it's better than the Sharks, but I don't think it's better than the Ducks. I don't think it's better than the Ducks. I think the Ducks beats it, but it beats the Sharks.
I feel like Ducks and Avalanche could go in God tier if they had just had a little more.
Yeah.
Washington Capitals.
I don't want to wear the jersey. It might be 50 Shades of Lame for me. It might be I didn't want it to exist.
I think it's 50 Shades of Lame. Because it. Yeah. It's not good.
It's not good. It's bad.
Yeah, it's a logo. It basically is just like we took the Washington Wizards and threw their logo into hockey and called it a day.
It's nothing to write home about.
Nope. The Winnipeg Jets.
Uh,
It's better than I think it's better than most.
I didn't even know that they existed.
Well, yeah, it's Winnipeg,
Where is Winnipeg?
Canada.
Oh, that explains more. Okay.
Isn't there a maple leaf behind there?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of just gives the same vibes as the Maple Leafs, but a little more effort. So maybe low end of kind of mid, or somewhere in kind of mid. I think.
I personally think better than the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think the Senators is a little bit better because even though, like Jay said, it's the whole human face thing, I agree, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think they still did the human face well enough that it still beats out the Jets.
Yeah, I agree.
The Jets just decided we're just gonna layer things and call it a day.
That's Canva. I went to the layer tool on the side and called it Canva. Okay. Well, that's the tier list. It's kind of scuffed. It's not at the same time, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. I like it. I think that we did a good job. So for all of our listeners, in first place we have in God tier the Wild, the
Minnesota Wild.
I was gonna say Colorado, and I was like, that's not it.
Wrong.
And in last place we have the Blackhawks.
We don't count Utah.
Yeah, we're not counting. We're not counting Utah because I feel like they didn't really have a chance to.
They're still deciding stuff, so they
Yeah.
actually don't exist technically.
Yeah. So
They also kind of just took the players of another dead team and just kind of started using them for their own. So
Yeah.
womp womp.
I'm very curious to see what they do decide on.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
Mammoths. I want to see mammoths.
I do want to see mammoths.
I think the Utah Mammoths would be sick.
I think they need the word woolly in it too. The Utah woolly mammoths. I think it'd be better.
Ooh. That was the podcast. All right, let's wrap this up, guys. So thank you everybody for listening. And we will see you next week. Don't be afraid to check out our Instagram and TikToks and other social media pages like YouTube. So thank you for listening.